Scanning for mutants. All humans are required to report any signs of mutant activity to Sentinel authorities. Failure to do so will result in extermination. Scanning for mutants. Scanning for mutants.
Oh, God. Today we're talking about one of the most essential stories in mutant history. The world has been conquered by Sentinels, and everything's terrible. And only Kate Pryde can save us. We'll cover that and more, so check out this video.
Unknown temporal energies detected.
I gotta go. In the ruins of New York City, an older Catherine Pryde Rasputin is nearly overwhelmed when she runs into some criminals, were it not for the timely intervention of Logan. He fights them off with ease before reporting to Kitty with news of the world. Wolverine gives her a piece of technology she should be able to safely smuggle into camp, and Kate sets off. The woman ponders life in 2013. There are three classes of people: H for human, queen of mutant genes, and allowed to breed. A's are anomalous, abnormal person with the potential to one day create a mutant, and thus forbidden from having children. And at the bottom are mutants, like Kate, who now goes by the codename Sprite. Those designated M-Class are outcasts of society ever since the Mutant Control Act was passed in 1988. Millions have died since then. Kate thinks they were the lucky ones. As she returns to her internment camp, where a Sentinel questions her delay, she explains she was attacked by criminals, and after a scan indicates the truth of this statement, she is allowed to proceed through a long and intentionally humiliating screening process. On her way back to her home, the first thing she passes is a massive cemetery, which has been there in the decade or so she has been living here. As always, there is a fresh new grave. She knows many mutants and other superheroes long buried here. Sprite joins what other survivors remain: Storm and Colossus, who work with Franklin Richards and his partner, Rachel Summers. She reports to them that she successfully got a piece of tech off of Logan, but that the time they have to use the tech is very limited. The group is greeted by Magneto, who is now confined to a wheelchair. Thanks to Logan's information, Kate informs him that they are indeed on the eve of nuclear war. The entire planet is doomed unless they can fix things with their admittedly desperate plan. Before they begin, Kate shares one final goodbye with her husband, Colossus. It's unlikely these two will ever see each other again as they currently exist. The team uses the technology that Wolverine gave them to finish assembling a device, designed to temporarily disable the collars each are forcibly equipped with that block their powers. Kate lies down while the telepathic Rachel stands over her. Their minds connect, and on Friday, October 31st, 1980, Kate Pryde finds herself in the danger room, reeling from the extravagant conditions her more experienced teammates are easily handling. The team decides to give Kitty a try, where she manages to use her powers to successfully avoid any of the dangerous traps in the room, when she is suddenly hit by a telepathic wave, and the older Kate's mind enters her younger counterpart's body. The shocked X-Men are surprised when Kitty suddenly changes her demeanor and is delighted to see all the X-Men again, as from her perspective, most are long dead. Kate explains what is going to happen to the group and issues a dire warning. Today is the day the world will ultimately fall into chaos. The Brotherhood of Evil Mutants plan on killing presidential candidate Robert Kelly, along with Charles Xavier and Moira McTaggart. Kelly's death will set into motion the events that lead to the complete subjugation of the mutant race. And the X-Men are quick to believe her too, since Logan's heightened senses confirm a lot of what the young woman is saying. Together, the team races off to help out. Meanwhile, at the Pentagon, Mystique has successfully infiltrated the building, along with fellow mutants Avalanche, Destiny, Pyro, and Blob. They are ready to strike. Not far from here, the Senate is convened, with Robert Kelly speaking out against the mutant race. Charles is there to speak on behalf of mutants and is surprised to see the X-Men arrive, and uses his mental powers to glean from Kate Pryde all the memories of the dark future. Suddenly, the Brotherhood attack, prepared to kill Robert Kelly. They square off against the X-Men, while a security guard leads Charles and Moira away. However, the guard reveals herself as Mystique and attacks, paralyzing the two with a nerve agent. Mystique decides it would be better to keep them as hostages rather than kill them outright, and asks Destiny how their future looks. However, Kate's displacement in time is clouding Destiny's normal powers of precognition, leading them to not realize the dangerous future they are about to create. Meanwhile, in that dark future, the X-Men have removed their inhibitor collars and fled the internment camp, desperately trying to keep the now unconscious Kate alive and away from the Sentinels for as long as possible, in order to maintain her link to the past. Working together, the X-Men are able to knock Blob into Avalanche, while Storm douses Pyro in rain. Nightcrawler manages to knock Mystique down, but she distracts him by revealing their similar appearance to one another, and hints at knowing a lot more about Kirk and his mother than she lets on, before running off. In the dark future, Wolverine, Storm, Colossus, and Franklin are all killed by the Sentinels, one by one. Only Rachel is left to defend Kate. Back in the past, Sprite's mind, still in her younger self's body, finds Destiny about to kill Robert Kelly. Catherine passes through the other mutant, affecting Destiny's precognitive mind and knocking her out. As a result of this, the older woman's mind is sent back to the future, and a very confused and even more drained Kate Pryde is found by Storm. A baffled Robert Kelly is informed by Aurora that he was just saved by a team of mutants, who put their lives on the line to protect him, reminding the man that there are good and bad mutants, just like human beings. The X-Men all prepare to go home, though Mystique, now disguised as a human, swears to rescue the now captured Brotherhood. On their way back to Westchester, everyone explains what happened to Kitty. The team can only wonder if they really did manage to change the future. A month later, Senator Kelly is called into the White House, along with a longtime associate of his, Sebastian Shaw. The president is surprised that Kelly would still recommend strong action against the mutants, after the X-Men saved his life, but he maintains that his life would never have been in danger to begin with, were it not for other mutants. Sebastian Shaw also warns that mutants remain a serious threat to national security. The president agrees, but says for now, their actions will have to be top secret. He tells them of an operation to mass-produce Sentinels, called Project Wide Awake, and introduces the two to the man in charge of said project, Henry Peter Gyrich. Henry will only answer to the president, and his authority is absolute. As he works with Shaw Industry to construct a new set of robot Sentinels, the mutant threat to humanity will finally and permanently be dealt with.